Welcome. We are in the process of understanding the data preprocessing. There are different steps. So far, we have learned the first step, data cleaning, as part of data preprocessing. Then we learned about data reduction. Here we saw three different techniques: dimensionality reduction, numerosity reduction, and then data compression. Then data transformation. In data transformation, we saw the normalization techniques like min-max, z-score, and then decimal scaling. The last step, the data discretization. The first approach we have seen the binning approach, and second approach is the histogram analysis. Let us see and try to understand what exactly this. So histogram already you know. Okay, so it is drawn for a, is basically the probability distribution for a discrete variables. Okay, so histogram partitions the value range of an attribute into adjacent non-overlapping intervals and displays the frequency values in each interval. If you visualize your histogram, it looks something like this. You have certain pillars. Okay, so this is just, if you visualize just binning, if you map to binning, it looks like a binning. So from say 0 to 5, 10, 15, 20, like this. So this is the width of the histogram. That's what they are saying. So each interval, or we call this as the interval, is called a bucket or a bin. Height of each bar represents the frequency or count. So the y-axis will have count 1, 2, like that. So how many values are here in this pillar gives the count. It is used for both visualization and discretization. The shape of the histogram reveals the distribution of the attribute. Basically, for discrete variables, in fact, we call them as random variables or attributes here. So for that probability function or mass function, we use histograms for visualization. What is the difference? So there is not much difference between histogram and binning. Binning is whatever is also based on the intervals and frequency. Here also same thing, but it is more about the distribution of the data. So binning focuses on assigning values to bins and smoothing. Histogram analysis focuses on analyzing the frequency of the distribution to find natural partitions. It identifies bin boundaries based on data density rather than fixed width or count rules. So in binning you have fixed width and frequency or count rules. Here that is there implicitly, but we are not going it and saying defining the intervals based on the natural distribution. Based on the distribution of the data, we are going to partition. Boundaries are where the frequency drops, natural values in the histogram. So we'll understand in depth. So there are four types. One is equal width histogram, equal frequency histogram, V-Optimal histogram, and MaxDiff histogram. The first two are similar to your binning. Okay, fixed bucket width, then fixed count per bucket. So equi width and equi depth. It is similar to your equi width binning and equi frequency binning. V-Optimal uses the variance concept, minimizes the weighted variance, and then max difference splits at the largest frequency differences. Let us see with an example one by one. So equal width histogram, it is similar, as I said, to your equal width binning. So you calculate the width of the interval of the histogram. That is, interval, how you calculate is maximum minus minimum divided by how many bins we want. K is the number of bins. So each bucket spans the same number of values. So width is same. So interval is same, means I will have same number of values. Frequency vary according to data distribution. Okay, because there can be more number of data items present in the or values present in the each bin, because the width is fixed. That is, interval is fixed. It is same as equal width binning. The histogram visualizes the result. So you can imagine it as a histogram for the equal width binning. Easy to construct and sensitive to outliers and skewness in the data. So same as your equal width binning. So for example, this is an equal width binning. So if you observe, the interval between any two of the pillars in this histogram are equal. So 20 minus 10, 30 minus 20, and also interval width or width is 10. So from that histogram, if you calculate, for example, they are given 25 salary values in 1000 rupees, ranging from 10 to 60, 10,000 to 60,000. So they want to create 5 buckets or 5 pillars like this. So that means what? Between 10 to 20,000, there are 3 persons. From 20,000 to 30,000, 7 persons. 30 to 8, 48 persons. 40 to 55 persons and 50 to 62 persons. So total 25. So now what is the width? Width is maximum minus minimum. That is 60 minus 10 by 5. That is 10. And then they want to create 5 buckets. So what will be the interval? Will be initially bucket 1 will contain what? 10 to 20. That's what they are given here. 3. And then the relative frequency, because we are visualizing the distribution. It's a discrete distribution. So frequency means you can see it as a probability. So 25 is the denominator. That is the total. The numerator is the relative, how much it is getting. That is the probability distribution. So you can divide into 5 buckets. First k is equal to 5. And then the frequency is given. So distribution is roughly bell shaped. Peak at B3. So if you observe this figure, so B3 is the interval containing maximum number of values. B3 is the most frequent bucket with the, that is model class. Model class means the mode. Mode means highest frequency. So 8, this is the highest frequency. So this is what is the information we are getting. See, the intuition is important here. The concept is very simple. Only thing is, what is that I am visualizing here? So from this, I can see the distribution. I can see the mode. So I will get a visual intuition of the distribution of the data. Similarly, equal frequency or equi-depth histogram. So here we have count per bucket. If there are n data points, and if I want to split them into k bins, okay, or histogram pillars, it will be n by k. So it is similar to your equal frequency binning. So for example, here they are given some sorted 20 values and divided into 4 buckets. Count per bucket equal to 5. So that means what? Here the width may not be fixed, but the frequency, that means in each histogram pillar or the frequency will remain same. So that means the histogram will be like a uniform distribution. So for example here, so the previous example, if you see the width is differing, but the frequency is similar. So it is similar to your what? Discrete uniform distribution. Okay, so the frequency, relative frequency of each bin will remain same. That is the probability of each variable or each value will remain same. So now we'll come to the different type in histogram analysis. Okay, so V-Optimal histogram, and then next we'll see MaxDiff histogram. So these are different from your equal width binning and the frequency, equal frequency binning. So now what is this V-Optimal histogram? So partitions data into k buckets to minimize total weighted variance. Okay, why we need? Because it produces the most accurate histogram approximation. Uses dynamic programming to find the optimal partition. So groups values that are close to each other in the same bucket. Whatever you are doing till now, width, calculation of width or frequency is kind of static. Okay. So here I can, based on the data distribution or the data points, I can make a dynamic, or what you call it as, you can say it as dynamically splitting the data. Okay. You are not fixing the boundaries manually. So in the algorithms, you have something called as dynamic programming strategy, which tries to select the optimal solution for every substage. Okay, so how will you calculate this? The concept is very so now what is the cost function? How will you define the V-Optimal function? So it is nothing but Ni into sigma I square. So Ni indicates number of values in each bucket. Sigma I square indicates the variance of values in each bucket. Okay, each bucket you have certain number of values present, right? So there are total k buckets. The cost function is summation of all this, product of number of values in that bucket into the variance in that bucket. Okay, that is what is the cost function. So for example, this is a given data. I want to split into 2 buckets. So first what you have to find is the partition, 2 partitions. Okay, here I am taking for simplicity. You can apply the dynamic programming and get the exact solution, optimal solution. Let us take the split like this. Okay, These are the only two cases I am taking. Dynamic programming tests for all the cases exhaustively and then finds the best solution among them. Now here, for simplicity to understand the concept, I have taken two partitions, partition A and partition B. If the dynamic programming has these two partitions, which one it will select? So A has, say, partition A contains two buckets because let's say in two buckets, one bucket has 1, 2, 3, and another has 20, 21, 22. So what they say is, so you find out the variance and then product of the number of values in each bucket and the variance. Okay, will give you the cost. And then whichever has the minimum cost, I will select it. That is the minimum variance I have to choose. So to calculate the variance, I have to calculate the mean value. So I calculated mean values for this 1, 2, 3. And then mean values for these two. So sigma 1 square, I'll get it as 2 by 3. Okay. So you already know how to calculate the variance. In the statistical description, I have explained how to calculate the variance. That is summation of the x minus x bar whole square divided by n. So you'll get it as 2 by 3. Similarly, for this bucket, bucket number 2, you get 2 by 3. So the cost function is n summation of ni into sigma I square. So there are only two buckets. So I equal to 1 to 2. So you calculate, I'll get it as 4. Similarly, for partition, instead of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 20, 21, 22. So by observing here itself, we can say because the variance is very high. 1, 2, 3 are very near to each other, but 20 is very far away from that. So definitely this class will have high variance, this partition B. 21, 22, they are in the same range. Let us see now how it works. So similarly, calculate the variance for both and then take the cost function for this partition B. So we'll get it as 245.5. So the optimal programming or dynamic programming selects 4 because that is the minimum out of these two. So this is how the V-Optimal works. A partition A has much lower cost. Okay, V-Optimal selects it. So this is how it is dynamically it is selected. The next one is MaxDiff histogram. The concept is very simple. Okay. So places the bucket boundaries at k minus 1 largest consecutive differences in the sorted data. So if I want to have k buckets or bins, okay, where should I place the boundaries? So for example, say that what it exactly does is very simple. So these are the data points I have plotted on the line 2, 5, 7, 18, 21, 24, 50 and 55. You take the difference between consecutive values. Okay, so first 2 to 5 difference is 3, 5 to 7 difference is 2, 7 to 18 difference is 11, then 18 to 21 difference is 3, 21 to 24 difference is 3, 24 to 50 difference is 26, then 50 to 55 difference is 5. Now how many buckets I have to create? I have to create k buckets. Okay, let us say for example I want to create 2 buckets, so I have to select 3 buckets. So I have to select k minus 1 boundaries. So that is 2. Which are these two values I have to select is wherever there is a maximum gap between these consecutive. So maximum gap is between 26 and 11. Others are 3 to 3, 3. So two best differences. Okay, I will select. So this will be my boundary here. So this will act as one bin. This will act as another bin or bucket. This will act as another bin or bucket. This is how MaxDiff histogram works. So for example, this is sorted data given. So I want k equal to 3 buckets. So first you calculate the difference between consecutive numbers. So difference between 2, 5 is 3. So then 5, 7 is 2. Go on calculating like that. Then there are 3 buckets. So I have to select k minus 1 boundaries. K minus 1 boundaries. That is 2 boundaries. 2 boundaries should be of the 2 highest values. Okay. So out of this 3, 2, 11, 3, 3, 26 and 5. Which two are the highest? So 11 and 26. So this will be my boundaries. So D3 and D6 will act as my boundary. So 3, the bucket, if you see the histogram, it will be, the into will be what? It will be 11, boundary will be at 11, then we have 26. So it will be something like this. Okay. This is how the max difference histogram works. So that completes your data pre-processing concepts. Next, we will solve many problems on the concept so far you have learned. So we'll cover all the techniques in the data pre-processing, the data cleaning, that is fixing your or handling your missing values, noise, outliers, and then you have learned data compression techniques, data dimensionality reduction, and then numerosity reduction, that is data reduction. Then you will see problems on concept of data transformation, min max normalization, okay, that's for normalization, and then decimal scaling. Also, we'll cover many other lossless and lossy algorithms in data compression like LZW, and all those things will be covered in the problem solving. So we'll cover on discretization, binning, and histogram techniques. So please watch the next video because I will be solving many more problems. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share.